This is Spawn on the Vanilla Anarchy server, and today I'm logging in for the first time to explore the server and try and build myself a base. And as soon as I logged in, I got the typical Anarchy welcome, not once, but twice. But after they'd finished with this, they were actually very helpful and gave me lots of gear and food and all that good stuff to get started. As with any Anarchy server, the first challenge you have to face is escaping spawn, and thankfully that player not only gave me armor and some food, but they also gave me a boat so I can travel around a little bit better, and they gave me a pickaxe which is great so I can mine some blocks. It is gold, there seems to be a lot of gold around on this server. I wonder if there's some gold cult somewhere, maybe we'll run into them at some point. Anyway, I saw what looked like a highway down below me, so I jumped in my boat and headed down, and before too long I found the main highway and managed to travel a bit easier along the server. And speaking of travelling more easily, I came across a nether portal. I thought I'd have a quick look inside because you can travel pretty far if you go through the nether, but usually in Anarchy servers the nether is a complete hellhole and you want to steer clear of it, and it's no different here. As soon as I came through the portal, I started having witherheads shot at me, so I decided to stick to the overworld. And as I travelled down the main highway, I found a lot of cobblestone and lava casts, but there were a few builds that are semi-intact, or at least you can tell something had been there in one point. But quickly into my journey, I realised the player from Spawn had followed me. They'd given me stuff to get started earlier, and now they wanted to give me a little tour of the server. The tour didn't take too long. They told me I was currently on the Obi Highway, and I was heading away from Spawn, and they also told me to watch out for withers, which is fun. And as well as this little tour, they also gave me a bit more loot, which was super nice of them. They gave me a shield and a sword, so I should be good to fend off any mobs now. So this player flew off and I carried on heading down the highway, and before long, nighttime fell. I found some water and I thought it would be best to get off the road at night because there'd be loads of mobs around, so I got in my boat and started rowing out away from the highway. After rowing for a pretty long time, I came across this pretty weird ocean griefing thing. So I carried on, and I eventually found this ruined old watchtower. And this is where we're going to be rebuilding. We're going to be building a brand new watchtower where this one once stood. We're going to try and make it a bit bigger and hopefully a bit better. And then we're going to see how long it can survive. But before I could do any of that, I needed to get my hands on some wood. I hadn't seen any trees yet, but when I got around the corner of the watchtower, I saw these leaves in the air. So when I headed over, it was pretty terrifying. Some explosions happened, and it turns out there was a wither nearby, which is fun. So I quickly pillared on top of the tree and tried so hard to get a sapling. Thankfully, I did get a sapling, so I grabbed that and ran away from the wither. And after all that, I went mining for diamonds and came out with a whole load of them. I got full diamond gear, as well as diamond pickaxe, diamond shovel, and all that good stuff. So I put it to use. I started terraforming the area. I started off by taking down a little bit of this mountain nearby, and then started terraforming the grass. This was quite awkward because, well, the landscape was just a complete mess, to be honest with you. But I did as much as I could, and the landscape looks a little bit better by the end of it. Once I'd finished with my terraforming, I tore down the old watchtower. As there wasn't too much of it remaining, it was all a bit of a wreck, so we thought we'd start from scratch here. And that's exactly what I did. Once I'd fully torn down the old watchtower, I started building up this new one. So it's a bit of a more round design, starting with darker stone colours and working way up slowly to a more lighter colour at the top. We've also got these little bits of amethyst sprinkled in, which I think make it look a bit more magical, which is nice. And then right up the very top, we've got the crowning jewel of the tower. This is all the diamonds I've been mining. It took me a hell of a long time to get, but I think it looks great. And now we just have to see how long this thing will last. So here is the view from down on the ground. I'll say enjoy it while it lasts because I'm not sure how long it will. But we're going to log out now for a little bit and see how it does over maybe a week or so. It doesn't actually have a front door or anything like that. It's more of just a monolith standing here in the landscape rather than being an actual usable building. But hey, I think it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to log out in this spot now, and I will see you guys in about a week. And about 1 week later, if I log back in, I will find out that my base has been not touched at all, which is quite surprising for an Anarchy server. So I've been logged back in for a couple of minutes now, and already someone's been banned from the server for hacking. So it turns out they're very strict on no hacks on this server, which is a bit weird for an Anarchy server, but whatever. So that might explain why our base hasn't been found or griefed, but there's no hackers flying around all over the world. So to make it a bit easier, I decided I'm going to link up my base to the main highway. And thankfully I had a ton of deep slate left over from last time I was on the server, which made connecting the path up pretty easy. I crafted it all into deep slate slab bricks and had it connected to the obsidian highway in no time. So now when people are walking down the obsidian highway, they'll see this path sprouting off to the left here, and I even left a sign letting them know that there's free diamonds to be had this way. And if we head down the path, we'll see it's not very long before we come across the tower, and it's not exactly hidden. I've planted a few saplings around, so hopefully there'll be a forest growing soon, but I'm sure people will find it now. So we're going to look out for another week, and we'll see if people have griefed the base when we come back. Okay, so another week has passed now, and I'm about to log back on, and we will see that... Oh, okay, the diamonds have been taken, but the tower still looks like it's in pretty good shape. I mean, it hasn't just been turned into a crater. Doesn't seem like TNT or withers have been involved. Seems like they've just taken the diamonds and dipped, which is respectable. Oh yeah, here you can see the hole where they've broken into the side of the tower. They didn't replace the amethyst, a bit rude, but whatever. So it looks like they've just used my ladder to get to the top. Also placed a few random bits of cobblestone, which is nice, and broken through the ceiling and taken the diamonds, which I respect. I mean, I left a sign saying free diamonds, so what can you expect? Under the base I had a few chests full of random resources that I used to build the tower and stuff. I also have my bed, so I wonder if they found that, and it looks like yes they have. Okay, I think they've just broken the chest and taken whatever stuff they wanted, which is fair enough. Take my bed as well, which is also fair enough. So I've made my way back to the main highway. It seems like the path that I built was pretty well intact. No one had griefed it at all, which is nice. And the sign is still here saying free diamonds. So I'm sure we'll still have a few more visitors in the future. But yeah, I mean, the grief could have been a lot worse. They literally just took the diamonds and left. The tower's still intact. I did replace the diamonds with some granite. I'm not going to go mining for a bunch of diamonds again. But hey, it still looks cool. So if you play Java Minecraft and in the future you ever find yourself on the vanilla Anarchy server, these are the coordinates which you can find the tower, although it might not be there by the time you get there, depending on how long you leave it. But yeah, that's all I've got time for in today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.